What's up, guys? Coming to you today with Week 12 college football action on a packed Saturday of NCAA football here on November 15th. We're going to cover a bunch of the biggest games of the day, and I'll give you my massive lock of the day and my favorite underdog pick. So slam that like button and subscribe to the channel to make sure you keep seeing these videos every single day. Let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally read and answer every comment I get. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and you should definitely check back a couple of times throughout the day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and personnel changes coming in at the last second. Last week, guys, we had a very good time both on the premium side for college football and in the video picks for college football. Last week in the video, we went 4-2 overall. We did break out our first play of the day. That was James Madison at minus 13.5. The Dukes did get the win in this one, but couldn't quite get us the cover, eventually winning that game 35-23. It was a good day offensively for James Madison, but a couple mistakes and the defense not being able to slow down the run was also a big issue. We cashed Texas A&M minus 7, a pretty comfortable win there for the Aggies, coming out on top 38-17 despite playing at Mizzou. It was pretty clear in that one that the Tigers are just not quite on the same level there as Texas A&M. So yeah, a nice win there for the Aggies and for us. We also had Georgia minus 9.5, a big time 41-21 win there for Georgia as Gunnar Stockton passed for 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and the running game piled up 330 yards. This one basically over there by halftime. We also had Vanderbilt minus 6.5, and that was an insane win and cover for us in that one as the Commodores eventually win 38-45 in overtime. Yeah, crazy work there. The offense was fine from Vandy, but the defense had a hard time. But you have to give them credit. They did make that big stop happen for us there in overtime to help us get the win. We also cashed Missouri State plus 7.5 as our dog of the day. Another big straight up win there for FBS newcomers as Missouri State gets the 21-17 win. And now with their 6th win in the bag, the question is, will their petition to get into a bowl game here to, waive that thing where you can't play in a bowl game for 2 years, if that will be accepted or not. We did break out on our massive lock of the day last week. Indiana minus 14.5. Couldn't make it happen. A miracle win there for the Hoosiers, but certainly no cover for us. Penn State has had a disappointing season overall, but they really came to play there in front of their home fans. That being said, the Nittany Lions are still without a conference win this season, so I'm not going to act like that was a great performance there from Indiana. They did kind of suck it up. But overall, a 4-2 day there for us on the free side. On the premium side, we went 4-1, so very good work there. A 2-unit play mixed in on Nebraska, but we'll talk about all that here in a little bit. Right now, it's time to get to work. Let's go ahead and dive in here. We're going to look at our first game of the day. We're going to be looking at the Arizona Wildcats going on the road to take on the Cincinnati Bearcats. Arizona comes into this game 6-3 on the season. They're actually fresh off a nice 24-20 win there over Kansas. So well played. I mean, the Wildcats are bowl eligible now, so that's got to be feeling pretty good for them. Decent quarterback play, obviously, but only 158 passing yards is not amazing. The defense and the running game are what got them this win. The running game looked great, 165 yards on 29 carries and a rushing touchdown. Also, Arizona did not turn the ball over in this game. That is a big deal. The defense was good, giving up only 20 points, slowing down the run quite a bit, slowing down the pass even more. I mean, giving up 199 passing yards and 1 passing touchdown in a college football game is a pretty good day. Unfortunately, they forced 0 turnovers, so that's not great. Over the course of this season, Arizona on defense, they are 25th in the nation in points against. So, a pretty good team on that side of the ball. But they're about to be pretty severely tested here as they go on the road to take on the number 25 Cincinnati Bearcats. Now, Cincinnati, they're coming off a tough loss. It was one of their worst games of the season overall. They lose 46-14 there at number 24 Utah. So obviously a tough opponent in that game, and they didn't come up with very many positive things. Cincinnati really struggling there on the road. They are back home for this one, so we'll want to keep that in mind. We liked what we saw, at least at some points, from the quarterback play, in terms of quarterback play, Brendan Sorsby there, but yeah, in the end, only completing 11 out of 33 passes, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Not a great day. They were able to run the ball. That's a step in the right direction. 206 yards on the ground on only 30 carries. A very good day there on the ground, but the passing game not really being able to hold up, and the defense just got destroyed. They could not stop the running game there of Utah. Also struggled a bit against the pass. Cincinnati did come up with 2 turnovers in the game, but turned the ball over 3 times themselves. So certainly a massive bounce back spot here for the Bearcats. They've been good defensively this season as well. They're 25th in the nation in pass and rushing yards and 19th in points per game. So a lot of positives for Cincinnati. They are 6-point favorites in this game. We've got a total of 56.5 here. Arizona's 5-4 against the spread. Cincinnati is 6-3 against the spread this season, and that's part of the reason we'll take Cincinnati here at -6. Typically challenging for the team that has to travel across the country for a conference matchup, and that's what Arizona will be doing in this one, especially when it's a team from out west having to play in an early start time in the East. This isn't an ideal scenario for Arizona. Heading into Cincinnati for the noon kickoff, we wouldn't be surprised seeing the Bearcats jump out to an early lead behind their home field advantage, which does make that first half play a little bit appealing, and then riding that early advantage into a winning cover in this contest. Arizona brings in the edge on the defensive side of the ball, but it's a small edge. Cincinnati has been the better offensive team this season. The Bearcats have more to play for, sitting near the top of the Big 12, while Arizona, they're 3-3 in conference play. They're not going anywhere insane. Next up, guys, we've got a marquee game between number 9 Notre Dame. They're going on the road to take on number 22 Pittsburgh. Now, the Fighting Irish are 7-2 on the season. They lost their first 2 games in absolute heartbreaking, nail-biting fashion, losing against Miami and Texas A&M, but since then they've been playing great. They knocked off Navy convincingly last week, winning 49-10. They've got a nice win over USC under their belts, but they still have more work to do, and this is a nice resume-building win here if they can get past Pitt. Now, in their win over Navy, obviously not a team that's at the same level as Pitt necessarily, but we liked what we saw from Notre Dame. Obviously, CJ Carr, great. 3 touchdown passes, 13 of 16 completed, 218 yards. It doesn't get a whole lot better than that. The Fighting Irish also did a great job on the ground, 249 yards on 38 carries and 4 touchdowns. They didn't turn the ball over in this game, which is a huge positive. That being said, they didn't force any turnovers of their own, but they really held that Navy rushing ground weird, attack there in check, giving up only 10 points in the game, only 206 yards on 45 carries. So a very good day there for Notre Dame defensively, and over the course of the year, they're 18th in the nation in defense, giving up 18.8 points per game. So that's all looking great. They're heading to Pittsburgh to take on the Panthers, who are 7-2 on the season. They've only got 2 losses as well, losing at Virginia and against Louisville. They've got nice wins over Florida State. They took down a decent Stanford team last week. They've had some pretty decent wins, but they need a big resume-building win here, and this is their chance here going up against the Fighting Irish. Now, last week against Stanford, we saw Heischel, a great day from him, except for those 2 interceptions. 340 yards to the air, 3 touchdowns. If you clean up those interceptions, that's an amazing day. We'll see if he can do that here against Notre Dame. The running game looked very solid as well. 35 carries, 162 yards, and 1 rushing touchdown. Nothing wrong with that. They did turn the ball over a total of 4 times this game, and all those turnovers go on the quarterback. So definitely need to be better. Got to take care of the ball. You're not going to win games when you turn the ball over a lot, unless you can generate a ton of turnovers of your own. And the Pitt defense did a pretty good job there. They only allowed 20 points. They created 3 turnovers of their own. All 3 were interceptions. They shut down the running game, and they slowed down the passing game enough to get themselves a nice win. And over the course of the season, Pitt's been a good defensive team, giving up 21.8 points per game. They're 6th in the nation in points scored per game. So a lot of positives there. Looking at the numbers, they're not getting much respect here from the odds makers. They're getting 12.5 points here playing at home. We've got a total of 54.5. Notre Dame, they're only 4-5 against the spread this season. Pitt, they're 7-2 against the spread, and I like the Panthers here getting 12.5 points quite a bit. We've been very positive in general over the past month or so on both Notre Dame and Pittsburgh. As great as Notre Dame has been, it might have overshadowed the fact that Pittsburgh is one of the top performing teams in the country since they made a change at quarterback, and they've now won 5 straight. Then the Panthers are a team that now ranks a very respectable 36th in the nation offense, 25th in defense. Notre Dame 15th and 44th in those respective categories, and we feel this has the potential to be a highly competitive contest. Pitt having some home field advantage is definitely helpful. We'll take the Panthers here with getting a lot of points. This has potential to be our dog of the day. Hey guys, hopping here with a quick shout out to the sponsor today and every day's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description and get over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily NBA, NHL, UFC, NFL, college football, and college basketball picks. We've had a very solid run over there on multiple different sports. It's a great time to get in the mix. So many sports going on right now. You're getting maximum bang for your buck. So definitely want to get over there and check out all the premium stuff we're offering at StumpTheSpread.com. Last week, we had a very nice 4-1 week there on the college football side. So definitely want to get in on that. And also at StumpTheSpread.com, there's lots of free stuff for you to take advantage of. There's free picks posted over there every single day. There will probably be at least 2, 1 college basketball, 1 college football there on Saturday. So want to get in on those for sure. And lots of other great information over there. Our free to use bet size calculator can be found at StumpTheSpread.com. Make sure you're not blowing your whole bankroll on 1 or 2 bad days. But maybe most importantly, get over there and get on that free email list. It's a fantastic resource every single day. There'll be at least 1 free pick in that email every every day, oftentimes 2 or 3. We're already sending out some early NFL touchdown props there for Sunday, so you definitely want to get on there and see those. We went 4 out of 6 there on our NFL touchdown props last week, hitting some big underdogs. So you definitely want to be getting in on those. And it's very easy to sign up for that email list, guys. All you have to do is go to stumpthespread.com, either by typing it into your browser of choice or clicking the link in the description. That'll take you to the homepage. You'll click that little green login button. That'll prompt you to set up a free account. All they'll ask you for is your name and your email address. That's it. And then you'll be on that email list. You'll get 1 email every single day. There's also parlays in those emails sometimes. So definitely, I know some of you are parlay enjoyers. So get in on that if you're interested. Also, guys, in terms of results for our premium college football picks last week, it was a good week, going 4-1 overall, cashing the West Virginia Mountaineers -6.5, Nebraska as a pick'em. That was a nice 2-unit play. We did break out on Oregon -6.5, but that was our only loss of the day. Cashed UNLV -4.5 and Jacksonville State -1. So a very positive week over there in week 11 in college football. Our guy is seemingly seeing things pretty well, and we've got a team of experienced cappers over there for every major sport. So definitely want to get over there, not just for the college football picks that'll be out tomorrow, but the college basketball picks, tons of NFL action already in there. So you want to hop in on that early so you can take advantage of those good lines early on. So definitely get in on that if you guys are interested. It's a great value every single day, pumping out tons of premium content, and the amount of work that goes into those picks every day is absolutely nuts. So definitely want to get in on that. Also, if you're a huge fan of what you're seeing from us here every single day, you can click that little join button right below the video to sign up for a YouTube channel membership. YouTube channel members get early access to all of our videos, get their name up on screen in every single video, but maybe most importantly, get access to our members only giveaways. Every Monday is looking like how the schedule is going to go. We're going to do a giveaway. We're going to roll the big wheel. We put the name of every single YouTube channel member on that wheel, spin it live on the video. Whoever it lands on gets a Stump the Spread hoodie mailed straight to their address of choice. So definitely get in on that if you're interested, guys. Like I said, you click the little join button right below the video, and YouTube will show you how to sign up there for a YouTube channel membership. So if you're interested, get in on it. I love all my YouTube channel members. It really lets me know that you are a super fan. Now, guys, let's dive back in. We've got a ton more college football action to cover, and next up, we're going to be looking at the USF Bulls going on the road here to take on the Navy Midshipmen. Number 24 South Florida comes into this game 7-2 on the season. They're fresh off a blowout win there over UTSA. A nice bounce back after a tough loss there against Memphis. This team, I would say, still maybe has aspirations to play in the college football playoff, but we'll see what they can do. They're going to have to make some really big noise here down the stretch, and they'll have to get it started here with this win, hopefully for them, over Navy. Now, in their win over UTSA, they played great, obviously. No mistakes there. Quarterback Byron Brown, 14 of 15, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, a monster day for him. The running game also looked very good. He ran for 109 yards and a touchdown all on his own, and as a team, 238 yards on the ground. So that was all great news. They only turned the ball over once, put up 55 points, only gave up 23, forcing a couple turnovers of their own. So a very good day out there across the board against South Florida. Definitely a step up in competition here, though, taking on Navy. We'll see how that goes. Over the course of the year, they're 10th in the nation in rushing yards per game. They're 5th in points scored per game. So a lot of season-long positives going on for the South Florida Bulls. Now, they're headed to Navy to take on the Midshipmen, who are 7-2 on the season. Losers of 2 in a row. That was a big, maybe prove that you belong, bounce back spot. They lost at North Texas, and they had a chance there at Notre Dame and came up very small, eventually losing 49-10. The whole running game option, situation for the Midshipmen did not work out. They only managed 206 yards on the ground on 45 carries. They got to do more than that in the running game if they're going to find success, especially against a better team. They really invested almost nothing in the pass, and that's kind of their MO. They didn't do a good job defensively either, guys. They couldn't even slow down CJ Carr in the passing game there for Notre Dame. That was not a good look. Also couldn't stop the run. Didn't generate any turnovers. It was just a all-around bad day there for Navy. And now with 2 bad games under their belts, it's a little bit concerning. We'll see what they can do in this one. Over the course of the season, their season-long numbers, they're still first in the nation in rushing yards per game, but it's not looking like they're capable of really putting up those kind of numbers against elite opposition. Now, looking at the numbers, the Midshipmen are getting 10 points here at home. We've got a total of 62.5. USF is 6-2-1 against the spread this season. Navy is 2-7 against the spread. and that's one of the reasons we'll be taking South Florida here at -10. This is more of a bet against Navy's defense than anything, as we have a hard time seeing them being able to slow down South Florida's offense, which ranks 7th in the nation yards per contest. We faded Navy last week at Notre Dame for the same reason, as the midshipmen went on to lose that one in a blowout. As Navy's schedule has turned tougher, the midshipmen have now lost back-to-back games, and I'm just not really feeling it with this team. I don't think that changes in this one as they go up against arguably the best group of 5 team in the entire nation. Rolling right along, we're looking at the Arkansas Razorbacks going on the road to take on the LSU Tigers. Arkansas is 2-7 on the season. They won their first 2 games of the year, both tune-up games, I will say, and then have had to play through a brutal SEC schedule, and it has not gone great. Last week, they had a chance against Mississippi, but eventually lose that game 38-35. That was a tough one. A lot of negative stuff going on, swirling around this program right now. I mean, it's rough. It's rough. It's hard to win football games in the SEC. Taylor Green played okay in the loss, 19 of 31, 194 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. He also ran the ball 17 times for 46 yards and a touchdown. And Mike Washington Jr., 19 carries for 116 yards and a touchdown. Overall, not a bad day. The pass was working, the run was working, but it was not enough to get them the win because their defense was terrible. They didn't even turn the ball over in this game. The defense managed to give up 38 points. They did generate 1 turnover of their own, but gave up almost 300 passing yards, 106 rushing yards, and 2 rushing touchdowns, and really just did not have an answer for anything the Mississippi State Bulldogs wanted to do. And defense has been a problem for Arkansas this season. They're 125th in the nation, giving up 33.3 points per game. That kind of number, not going to fly in the SEC. That is why they're currently last in the conference with 0 conference wins. So, yeah, this is going to be a tough situation for them to try to get one as they head to LSU to take on the Tigers, who are 5-4 on the season. LSU has fallen off a cliff over their last 3 games. Now, when you've lost at number 17 Vanderbilt, at home against number 3 Texas A&M, and then at number 4 Alabama, I'm willing to cut you all the slack in the world. Those are 3 of the tougher teams you could possibly face in college football right now. So we'll see if they've got a bounce back in them in their loss at Alabama. They end up losing that game 20-9, so a pretty competitive contest. Nussmeier, 121 passing yards on 18 completions is not going to cut it. Going to have to find a way to get the ball down the field at least sometimes. The running game also didn't look very good at all. Got to find a way to move the ball in offense. Now, the defense had a very good day. Giving up only 20 points to Alabama is not a bad look at all. Slowed down the pass, didn't stop it, but slowed it down. Definitely really slowed, basically stopped the run, only giving up 56 yards on 26 carries. So not a bad day out there. They also generated 1 fumble recovery. So the defense did everything it could to give the offense a chance. The offense just couldn't make it happen. Now, I'm sure the offense is more than happy that they're about to take on a little bit lower tier of opponent here. Got a chance to put up some more points against a mediocre defense. Over the course of the season, LSU is 20th in the nation, giving up only 20 points per game. So a very solid defensive team. They are 5.5-point favorites here playing at home. We've got a total of 57.5 in this game. Arkansas is 3-6 against the spread. So is LSU. But guys, I like the Tigers here at -5.5 quite a bit. Anything under 6 is fantastic. They've been one of the most disappointing teams in the country this season. That is true, but this should be a nice bounce back, get back on track kind of opportunity against an opponent that is still winless in SEC play. LSU brings in a big edge there on defense. And yeah, in this matchup, I'm going to lean heavily on that defense behind their home field advantage. I think that'll be the difference maker in this game. Arkansas simply hasn't been able to stop any of the offenses they've gone against, and that should present an opportunity for the Tigers to have one of their better showings on that side of the ball. So I think we definitely see LSU win this one comfortably by more than a touchdown. Next on the docket, guys, a bit of a deep cut, but a team that has made us an awful lot of units this season. We're looking at the UTEP Miners going on the road to take on those Missouri State Bears. UTEP, only 2-7 on the season. They're coming off a loss against Jacksonville State. They lost the game 30-27, and they really have not had a good time this year. Their only wins this season are over UT Martin and over Sam Houston. Now, Sam Houston is currently the worst team in the Conference USA. They are 0-5 in conference play, only 1-8 on the season. So I don't have a lot of good things to say about UTEP coming into this game. They didn't look great in that loss. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception there for Skylar Locklear. That's okay. The running game had 126 yards and 2 touchdowns, but it took them 37 carries to get those numbers. So it wasn't a great day, and the defense gave up 30 points, enough for them to eventually lose this game. They did kind of mess with the passing game there, I suppose, only allowing Caden Creel to complete 15 of 31 passes, and they had an interception, but they struggled against the run, and I mean, they generated what? Just that 1 interception, right? Yeah, no other turnovers, so not a great day defensively. And this UTEP team Over the course of the season, they are 78th in points against. They're 111th in the nation in points per game. So they could have a rough time here playing at Missouri State. The Bears, they're 6-3 on the season, trying to find a way to get into a bowl game, even though technically they're not supposed to be bowl eligible until after their first 2 seasons here in the FBS. But they're coming off a big straight-up win there at Liberty. So a good game there by the Bears. We liked what we saw from Jacob Clark. He continues to be a very dynamic passing option, 286 yards and 2 passing touchdowns. No interceptions. The running game didn't do much, I will say that, but they might have a better time running the ball here against a UTEP team that can struggle against the run. But overall, this Missouri State offense has been very solid. They did turn the ball over once there against Liberty, but only 1 turnover, not the end of the world, especially when the defense only gave up 17 points, really slowed down the Liberty passing attack. Didn't really stop the run. They did give up 202 yards on the ground, but they did generate 2 turnovers, 1 via the fumble, 1 via an interception. So liking what we're seeing from Missouri State here, honestly on both sides of the ball. Defensively this year, they are only 80th in the nation in points against, but a lot of those negative numbers come from giving up 73 points in game 1 of the season against USC. So they've been much, much better since then, and they're currently 103rd in points for, but they're really looking a lot better recently. So looking at the numbers, guys, Missouri State, they're 4.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 48.5 in this game. UTEP only 3-6 against the spread this season. Missouri State 6-3 against the spread, and that's one of the reasons we're going to take the Missouri State Bears here at -4.5. Missouri State, they've been largely money in the bank against the spread this season. There's no denying this program was very ready to make the leap to the FBS this season. We've continued to say the same thing about Missouri State all year long. The Bears have the luxury of having some of the best quarterback play in the Conference USA, behind Jacob Clark being great, and even backup Deuce Bailey, when Clark has been out, has looked good. Missouri State sits near the top of the Conference USA standings, and they have a lot more on the line in this home game than UTEP, who's near the basement in the league. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Penn State Nittany Lions going on the road to take on the Michigan State Spartans. Now, Penn State only 3-6 on the season. They have yet to get a win in the Big Ten, and they're fresh off a heartbreaking loss there. They thought they had a chance to knock off number 2 Indiana, but eventually lose that game 27-24. Now, they did play really, really well. Got to give them credit where credit is due, especially the defense looked excellent. Quarterback play was fine. 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 219 yards isn't an amazing day. The running game, they did manage to move the ball. Singleton did have 2 touchdowns on 10 carries for 71 yards, so not a bad day from him. They did fumble it away once and get picked off once, and you can kind of say that might have been the difference maker, guys. They did do a good job defensively. Had a couple or 1 turnover there, slowed down the pass, slowed down the run, didn't do quite enough to stop it. And I mean, we'll see what they can do, playing at home in this one. Can they avoid the big letdown after, missing out on a, pretty good opportunity there? We'll have to wait and see. Over the course of the year, they are 53rd in points against, 56th in points for, so not bottom of the barrel. We'll see what they can do here on the road against the Michigan State Spartans, who are 3-6 on the season. They are also looking for their first Big Ten win. They came up not well short, actually. They came up well short, I guess, against Indiana a couple weeks ago, but against Minnesota last week, they were in Minnesota and lost that game 23-20. Now, it's not like the Golden Gophers are a monster level team, but they're good. We liked what we saw from Michigan State in terms of the passing game was fine. 311 yards and a touchdown, 0 interceptions. The run was also working really, really well too. Just a brutal overtime loss in that game. Defense was fine. Really slowed down the pass, really slowed down the run. No turnovers generated on either side. So, yeah, just tough to eventually lose that game by 3. Michigan State hasn't exactly been a monster team this season on either side of the ball, to be honest. They're 81st in the nation, putting up 25.6 points per game. They're 116th in the nation, giving up just over 30 per game. So that's not great. They're getting 7 points here at home. We've got a total of 49.5. Penn State's only 2-7 against the spread. Michigan State's 5-4 against the spread, but I think we're going to see Penn State get their first Big Ten win this season. I think they're better than their 0-6 Big Ten record. This is a great opportunity for them to get on the board with a win against a struggling Michigan State Spartans team. Although nothing has gone right for Penn State this season, it was still encouraging seeing them pushing for the upset win late in their last game. The Nittany Lions rank much better than Michigan on both offense and defense. And yeah, I think we're going to see a very solid outing here from the Nittany Lions. Michigan State has not been good in recent home games, losing by double digits in East Lansing against Michigan and against UCLA, not a team that I am super high on. So I will definitely be leaning here towards Penn State -7. Rolling right along here, guys, we've got the NC State Wolfpack going on the road to take on the number 15 Miami Hurricanes. NC State, they come into this game 5-4 on the season, fresh off a monster 48-36 win there over number 8 Georgia Tech. This Wolfpack team has had some nice games. They couldn't really keep things close against Pitt. Couldn't keep things close against Notre Dame, but a big upset win there over Georgia Tech. They did beat Wake Forest earlier this season, a win that continues to look better and better. So we'll see what they can do in this one. I mean, knocking off Georgia Tech was a big deal. We liked what we saw from CJ Bailey, 340 yards and 2 passing touchdowns. Very good work there. He also ran for a touchdown. Jaden Scott had a big game as well, running the ball 196 yards and a touchdown there on the ground. So lots and lots of good news there. Loving what we're seeing in general from this NC State team, at least in that game. Defensively, they gave up 36 points. They did come up with a clutch interception, but gave up 408 passing yards and 150 rushing yards. So the defense remains a massive problem here for the Wolfpack. We'll see if they can figure things out in this one. Not exactly like they're playing an easy opponent. Over the course of the season, they are 111th in the nation, giving up 30.6 points per game. So we'll see. Maybe they figured something out last week. That running attack and their offense in general has looked very, very good. So looking at their opponent here, the Miami Hurricanes are now 15th in the nation. A tough loss against SMU, bounced back with a 38-10 win there over Syracuse last week. And this team, they're going to have to win out. It does feel like they're going to have to win out for sure to have a chance there at the college football playoff. We'll see how it goes down the stretch. Carson Beck, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. That's kind of what you want from him, is no interceptions. And I don't know, guys. It wasn't an amazing day necessarily. The running game was fine. 32 carries, 124 yards. The defense is what really dominated this game. The offense was fine, but the defense was great. 2 interceptions there. Only gave up 124 passing yards and 161 rushing yards. They also generated a fumble recovery. So 3 turnovers versus 0 turnovers is quite the day for any defense. And giving up only 10 points, a monster performance there from the Hurricanes on the defensive side of the ball. And over the course of the year, the defense has been amazing, guys. 10th in the nation, giving up 15 points per game. They're also scoring over 30 per game. So it's been a decent season, no doubt about it, there for the Hurricanes. We'll see what they can do here down the stretch. Now, they are 15.5 point favorites in this one. We've got a total of 55.5. NC State is 4-5 against the spread. Miami, 5-4 against the spread, but for me, that's just too many points. Give me the NC State Wolfpack here getting 15.5. They have been much less consistent than we'd like to see, but the Wolfpack have certainly shown a high ceiling when playing up to their potential. NC State picked up a great win in their last game, knocking off Georgia Tech there, 48-36. The question is, can lightning strike twice in as many weeks for NC State as they now head on the road to take on another tough opponent? The Wolfpack have the offensive output to hang with Miami, but their defense will need to step up to have a chance at the upset win. We've become much more negative on Miami in recent weeks with the Canes' recent conference losses against Louisville and SMU. We see this being competitive enough where NC State getting the generous amount of points looks like the better bet. Cruising through these games, guys, we've got a marquee matchup here between the Virginia Cavaliers, who are going on the road to take on the Duke Blue Devils. Now, number 19 Virginia, they're 8-2 on the season, looking very good, 5-1 in ACC play. They come into this one fresh off a loss, though. They are in a bounce-back situation coming off a tough 16-9 loss there against Wake Forest. Honestly, the Cavaliers' offense just could not do anything right in that game. They end up with 164 passing yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions, so I guess no monster mistakes, but they were not moving the ball there against the Demon Deacons. The running game, I mean, Taylor did have 98 yards on 19 carries, but nobody's breaking off anything crazy. 163 yards on 30 carries is a good day, but it's definitely not a great day, and they could not hang on to the ball. It was nuts. They fumbled it away 3 times. It was a rough day there for Virginia, especially on offense. Now, defensively giving up only 16 points, you expect to win that game every time and twice on Saturday, but it was not great. Despite them allowing only 64 passing yards and 139 rushing yards, they end up losing the game 16-9. A brutal loss there for Virginia. They got to get back on track quick if they want to end up, hanging on up there atop the ACC. They have 4 teams there with a 5-1 record, and Duke could be 5-1 if they can come up with this win. The Blue Devils are 5-4 on the season, but have done a lot better job in conference play than non-conference play. They are fresh off a tough loss, a 37-34 loss there at UConn. That was a brutal one. Duke gives up 14 points, only scores 6 of their own there in the fourth quarter. That was a rough one. Quarterback play continues to be a little bit up and down. 2 interceptions, 3 touchdowns last week. The running game was good, though. Shepard, 100 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns on only 16 carries. You can't ask for too much more than that. They did turn the ball over 3 times, and you're going to have a hard time winning a college football game when you turn the ball over 3 times. So we'll see if they can bounce back a little bit. They gave up 37 points against UConn, so a bad day for the defense as well. Could not stop the run, could not stop the pass. a lot to be desired there, given what, from Duke last week. It just wasn't a great game. They are back home for this one, so that is a positive for them. They've played significantly better at home, I will say. So we'll see what they can do in this one. Looking at the numbers, Duke 4.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 58.5. Virginia, they are 6-4 against the spread. Duke 4-5 against the spread. This is a rough one, guys. I'm going to lean slightly towards Duke here at home. We have been fairly high in Virginia this year, but when looking at the Cavaliers' results over the past month or so, just doesn't paint a very pretty picture. Virginia had a very tough time beating teams like North Carolina and Washington State, and the Cavaliers took a poor loss in their last outing, falling at home to Wake Forest, 9-16. Virginia's offense has been trending in the wrong direction, and that's certainly a concern heading down the stretch of the regular season. We feel Duke is better than the record would indicate, and this can be a very dangerous squad when they're actually finishing off their long drives with points. Given how Virginia has been trending in the wrong direction, I'll take Duke here as small favorites. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Florida Gators going on the road to take on number 7 Ole Miss. Now, the Gators, they are 3-6 on the season, not having a good year. They're fresh off a blowout loss at Kentucky, and yeah, not a whole lot of marquee wins on there. They did knock off Texas, but that win has not looked amazing here down the stretch. In their loss at Kentucky, that was a brutal one. We did not like what we saw. In general, especially on offense, that was really, really rough. The quarterback play was terrible. 3 interceptions in the game. They turned the ball over a total of 4 times. The running game did look good, though. Got to give them credit for being able to run the ball for sure against a decent Kentucky defense. But other than that, there weren't a lot of positives. The defense for Florida did not look good. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Isn't that terrible of a day to give up to an opposing quarterback? But they could not stop the run, giving up 233 rushing yards to Kentucky. That was rough. They did generate 4 turnovers in the game. The offense still could have managed to make this close. So we'll see if this could be a bounce back spot here for Florida. That's not impossible. Over the course of the season, they have had some close games against some solid teams, but we'll see what happens in this one. They're taking on a very good Ole Miss team that's 9-1 on the season. They're 7th in the nation. They're fresh off a 49-0 walkover win against the Citadel. So they have to get back to work and play a real football game in this one. And we'll see how it goes. They have some good wins on the docket. I mean, knocking off LSU, knocking off Oklahoma, but need a real big marquee win, to keep themselves there. I mean, they're 5-1. They're only 1 game off the pace there in the SEC. So we'll see what they can do in that blowout win over the Citadel. Not a whole lot we can take from that. I mean, obviously the offense looked very, very good. Running game worked out well. The defense pitched a shutout, so that was all very, very good work there for Ole Miss. But this was a game with a just insane talent difference. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see what they can do in this one against a real opponent. And looking at the numbers here, guys, we've seen a pretty big shift. This was earlier in the week. You could get Florida up to plus 14.5. Well, now it's all the way down to Ole Miss minus 11.5. A total of 53.5 in this game. Florida 3-6 against the spread. Mississippi, Ole Miss, guys, 6-4 against the spread. We will lean just a tiny bit here towards Ole Miss getting those, to Florida getting those 11.5 points, but I'm not sure if this is going to make the pin comment just because, such a big shift here. This has been a big distraction, given the coaching situation, how Lane Kiffin could potentially be in line to get the Florida job. Even though Florida is just 3-6 overall, we've seen the Gators compete well in a number of their tougher matchups this season, beating Texas and pushing Georgia all the way to the end in their recent rivalry game. Florida has the ability to stay competitive in these tougher tests given the talent on their roster, and the Gators have been reasonably solid on the defensive side of the ball, even with their offense sometimes putting them in tough spots. I do like Ole Miss in general, but this feels like too many points to give against an opponent that is looking to come in and play a spoiler. But given this huge line movement, guys, I don't think this can make the pin comment. Next up, we're going to be looking at the UCLA Bruins going on the road to take on the number 1 Ohio State Buckeyes. The Bruins are only 3-6 on the season. They just got beat by Nebraska. That was a competitive 1-score game, but the week before that, they lost by 50 at Indiana. Now they got to go to Ohio State, the best team in the nation. Could be a little bit tough out there for the Bruins. They did play a decent game against the Cornhuskers. I guess I got to give them credit, but I mean, we have not seen amazing play for this team from this team this season. The running game was working, so I'll give them credit for moving the ball on the ground. 157 yards on 37 carries and 1 rushing touchdown, though, is not an incredible performance. Defensively, they gave up 28 points. That's not bad, but they could not stop the pass at all. Allowing 13 of 15 passes to be completed for 3 touchdowns and 205 yards is not ideal, and they gave up quite a bit to the run, and they generated 0 turnovers. And over the course of the season, this UCLA team is, 112th in the nation in points against. They are 116th in the nation in points for. I don't have a lot of good stuff to say about UCLA as they head to Ohio State to take on the Buckeyes, who are looking amazing. They're coming off a 34-10 blowout win there at Purdue. They knocked off Penn State. They've beaten Illinois this year. They've beaten Texas. Not a crazy amount of super tough tests for this team, but they have been beating everyone they've been facing. And in their win at Purdue, they looked very good. The outcome was never in doubt. They outscored Purdue 24-3 in the first half. The quarterback play was actually a little bit mediocre, but still 303 yards to the air, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The running game looked good, 170 yards and 3 rushing touchdowns. And defensively giving up only 10 points against anyone is a very good day. They stopped the run, they stopped the pass. They didn't generate any turnovers via the fumble, but did end up with an interception. So overall, a very good day there from the Buckeyes, who very much deserve to be ranked number 1 in the nation. They're giving up 7.2 points per game. They are 18th in the nation in points per game. And looking at the numbers here, guys, no shock to see them massive favorites. They are 31.5 point favorites. We've got a total of 47.5 in this game. UCLA 3-6 against the spread. Ohio State 7-1-1 against the spread, and we'll be taking the Buckeyes here minus 31.5. UCLA was a fun story for about a minute after they moved on from their head coach, but the Bruins have come back to reality. Back-to-back losses there against Indiana and Nebraska. The 6-56 loss at Indiana is really what we're looking at, as Ohio State doesn't want to be upstaged by their top Big Ten competitor, and we expect a huge result from the Buckeyes in this home matchup as a result. This certainly isn't a look-ahead spot for Ohio State. With their next game coming at home against Rutgers, we expect a focused Ohio State squad to come through with the blowout win and cover in this one. And honestly, even though this is a massive number, this is probably going to make the pinned comment. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we're looking at the Boise State Broncos going on the road to take on the San Diego State Aztecs. Now, Boise State, they're down to 6-3 on the season after a tough 30-7 loss against Fresno State. Not a great showing. They've been a little bit up and down recently. I mean, they've had some blowout wins, but haven't done much in their step-up chances. And like losing against Fresno State, that definitely qualifies as a mediocre loss at best. So we'll see if they've got a bounce back in them. Against Fresno State, nothing was going right. The passing game looked terrible. 2 interceptions there for Cutforth. A bad day. The running game wasn't doing too much either. 29 carries for 91 yards. A negative 28 yards there from Cutforth. Not, mixed in doesn't help that one bit. They fumbled the ball twice, recovered one of them, but didn't recover the other for a total of 3 turnovers on the day. So just a terrible game out there for Boise State. Defensively, they didn't give up anything to the pass, but got beaten by the running game and by their own mistakes, giving up 3 rushing touchdowns and 189 yards on the ground. So not a good day. Not a good day out there at all for the Broncos. We'll see if they can bounce back in this one. Over the course of the season, they have been a good team. So we'll see what they can do at San Diego State. The Aztecs are 7-2 on the season. They're fresh off a 38-6 loss there at Hawaii. Not an easy place to get to, not an easy place to come back from. We'll see what they can do, to improve. A 6-38 performance is pretty rough, even if you're, spending too much time on the beach or something. I don't know what went on there. Dengal, a terrible day. 2 interceptions, 132 yards through the air. The running game didn't get a ton done either. They didn't turn the ball over except for those 2 interceptions, but it was a rough day. They had no answers there for Hawaii, whether it was the pass or the run. The Rainbow Warriors were getting whatever they wanted in that game. So we'll see if San Diego State can bounce back. They're 4th in the nation in points against, but when you look at their schedule, there's really no top-tier competition mixed in there at all. So looking at the numbers, guys, the Aztecs are 2.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 41.5. Boise State is 6-2-1 against the spread. San Diego State is 7-2 against the spread. I like Boise State here getting 2.5. If you can find 3, that's great. But either way, I think Boise State is going to get the win in this game. So you could even take them on the money line. They're 6-3 overall. Still feel like this is the best team in the Mountain West. The Broncos bring strengths on both sides of the ball, which isn't the case for pretty much every team in the upper tier of their conference. If we take out the losses on the road against high-tier opponents South Florida and Notre Dame, Boise State would be 6-1 overall, and they sit in the top tier of the Mountain West with a 4-1 conference record. San Diego State has been even more inconsistent, as is evident with their 6-38 loss at Hawaii in their last outing. San Diego State has shown a high ceiling at times, but we trust the Broncos more in getting the points as the better team. Last but not least here, guys, we've got the TCU Horned Frogs going on the road to take on the number 12 BYU Cougars. The Horned Frogs come into this game 6-3 on the season. They're fresh off a tough 3-point loss there against Iowa State. They've also lost to Kansas and Arizona State this season. They haven't played a ton of top-tier competition. We'll see what they look like in this one heading to BYU. Last week against Iowa State, obviously a very close 3-point game, but Josh Hoover getting picked off twice, a huge problem. 319 yards, 1 passing touchdown, but those 2 interceptions, that's enough to sink the boat sometimes. And the running game was working. 30 carries, 113 yards. I'm not too worried about that, but turning the ball over 3 times and forcing 2 turnovers of your own leaves you in a pretty bad spot. And they really had very little answer out there for the running game there of Iowa State. So we'll see. This is definitely a different vibe of a game for TCU going on the road to take on BYU. We'll see what they can do. They are 9th in the nation in passing yards per game, but they're also 39th in points for. So that's not always translating onto the scoreboard. And they're taking on a very good BYU Cougars team. They're 8-1 on the season. That's why they're ranked 12th in the nation. They're fresh off their first loss of the year. They fell 29-7 there at Texas Tech. Obviously, a very tough place to go play. Unfortunate for them that they were scheduled to go on the road to Texas Tech instead of vice versa this season. We'll see if they've got a bounce back in them. I mean, a 29-7 loss leaves plenty of room to get back on the horse. The passing game didn't look great. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The running game also couldn't get it going. That's a huge problem. They've got to be better. They've got to be better across the board on offense if they really want to hang on and end up making the college football playoff. So we'll see. Defensively giving up 29 points is not ideal either. They did slow down the run. They also slowed down the pass, but not nearly enough of either one. And they generated 0 turnovers in the game. Now, over the course of the season, BYU, they are 16th in the nation, giving up 18.3 points per game. They're a very good team. We'll see if that can show in this game where they're 3-point favorites. We've got a total of 51.5. TCU 4-1 against the spread. BYU 6-3 against the spread. Guys, I'll take BYU in this one, even now that it's up to especially now that it's down to 3. It was 3.5. You can find plenty of 3s out there. I think the Cougars have one of the best home field advantages in the Big 12. We think that plays a significant factor in this night matchup. BYU is coming off their first loss of the season. It's a big bounce back spot for them, and I definitely think they're going to respond well. We thought TCU could be a surprise team in the Big 12. Simply has not played out that way. The Horned Frogs 3-3 in league games. It was a big disappointment seeing them fall at home to the struggling Iowa State Cyclones in their last outing. The main difference maker in this matchup comes with BYU's defense, and we see that being the edge for the home team behind their elite home field advantage. I think the Cougars bounce back here with a comfortable win and cover. That's all the games we have for today on a very loaded slate of college football action. Make sure you hit that like button for a good look on all of your bets. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. I'm more than happy to get back to you. I appreciate everybody watching these videos. Make sure you're clicking the link in the description to get over there to stumpthespread.com. Check out all of our premium college football picks that are going out today. Tons of NFL picks over there. Make sure you're getting on that free email list. It's a great resource. NFL touchdown props are already coming out in the email every single day here leading up to Sunday, so you definitely want to get in on that email list. The free picks in there have been on quite the hot run here recently, so definitely want to get in on that, guys. And we'll see you right back here tomorrow, same time, same place, for more sports betting action.